All right, hey quants, we're going to do a quick rundown on the charts today. Yesterday I was talking about doing a video today for my state of working with AI and that, and I am going to do that. I started to prep that work, and just to make sure that I have a nice coherent flow that I'm explaining, I wanted to spend a little bit more time putting together some documentation that I can reference while I'm going through that video, so I'm not skipping all over the place and then just end up with a pile of mush at the end that nobody understands. So because that was taking me a little bit longer than I had anticipated, which is almost always the case, I ended up, I decided I still want to stay on my cadence of creating videos when I typically do. So I'm just going to go do a real quick market video today. And then looking forward, hopefully I will have plenty of time over the weekend to put together or wrap up the kind of presentation that I was going to do for how I work with AI. So that is still in the works and that will still be coming. And my current plan is still to do it in the very next video, which should be Monday, provided everything goes well. And let's go ahead and jump into the charts. So Bitcoin, I mentioned yesterday, we went over some of the Gann swing stuff. Not I said Gann swing, but not really the Gann swing, the Gann seasonal date, since it was a midterm date. And the reaction that we were seeing off of that coincided exactly with a lot of the resistance in the context of BTC, a lot of the resistance we had on what previously was support forming as resistance, coming up against the 200s, EMA and SMA as well, and then just a pullback from there. So I also mentioned the potential, not the potential, well, yes, the potential for bearish divergence forming on the daily time frame. I did not look at higher time frames. I did catch, I think Eric or Crown, he was doing a video and mentioned some using the RSI, some different areas or different time frames showing bullish divergence. I think you might have been looking at the 3-day time frame if I'm remembering correctly. So longer term, that might be more viable. And this could just be a short-term pullback. However, I did mention that we would want to see at least 2 histograms to have confirmation of the potential for this to turn into bullish divergence. With 2 histograms, I think you could just go ahead and call it bearish divergence. However, just because you see bearish divergence doesn't always mean that that results in a trade in the direction that you would want, right? It's not a guaranteed signal. It's just a higher probability play if you're using divergences. So with that said, it looks like we are still on track to potentially put in a red histogram here. We definitely have the potential to put in a rollover of the stochastic. However, it's still pointing up, so definitely can't call that bearish divergence just yet. We need to see that slip down if that's going to happen, and so that'll take a little bit of time on the daily time frame. And with this candle kind of bouncing off of the 8 EMA here, that is also another potential way to play this 821 here when it comes up after you get away from it. Just buying in between, at each of these with varying amounts of capital depending on your conviction level, or playing in the middle of there, however you want to do that. But it is bouncing off of there. And also if you look where I have my cursor right here, it looks like it also could just be, we kind of got above these these consolidation areas. I don't have the VPVR on there. I wonder if, I think there was probably some little bit of volume there. VPVR, so yeah, you got a little bit of volume here that it got above, and so it could just be bouncing off of that as well, or testing that as to see if that previous resistance is now support. And so still, as I mentioned in the last video, we need to see that play out a little bit more to see if that's going to result in anything. I didn't look at the market this morning, so just scanning the charts real quick here. I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of the charts because I want to keep working on some of the other stuff that I'm working on and save some time so that I can also get to the AI video. So I did, as I mentioned, just want to jump on here real quick. So we'll see how this continues to play out. I'm just doing my daily exercise here of coming in here and make sure I take a look at the charts, get some screen time on, seeing how this potential bearish divergence is developing. And it looks like some of the other crypto charts might be moving, but I'm not going to jump and look into those today. So that just real short, quick one today. Nothing spectacular happening here. Just waiting to see how the resolution of this current pullback on the 200s plays out. If we get above this, I think there's definitely a potential. You have a good entry there if you didn't get in already on seeing a break away from the 200s before it potentially pulls back into those. So that is an idea that you can play with. And I will leave you with that. We will catch you on the next one. Peace, quants.